there was always a purpose. That's why he used to say, papi ini diberkati sama Tuhan untuk bisa memberkati orang lain. I have a mother, I have brothers, I have a good community who loves me, who's willing to support me. Dan puji Tuhan, secara finansial, secara eksternal juga nothing really change. Makanya dari segi itu tuh, from that moment on, aku mulai punya tujuan. Tujuan hidup aku when I'm feeling down itu kalau it's that I'm trying my best every single day to always find ways to use my resources and all the blessings God has given me to bless others. And at the very least, the time my dad was here wasn't for nothing. And aku benar-benar put his life lessons, put his words into make it a reality. Itu sih.
Tidak harus hebat, tapi harus cerdas. Welcome to Progressive Mindset. I'm Gaby Hartanto, your host, and this is a podcast where people share their stories and perspectives to elevate our mindsets.
Ayo, groom your brain. Ayo, groom your beauty. Ayo, groom your behavior. Indonesia. Ayo, grooming. Ayo, groom your brain. Ayo, groom your beauty.
Welcome back to Progressive Mindset. Banyak yang belum tahu narasumber saya siapa kalau bukan karena kejadian berapa bulan lalu yang sangat mengagetkan untuk masyarakat Indonesia. Ketika seorang politisi, Pak Benny Laos, sedang berkampanye untuk menjadi calon gubernur Maluku Utara, tiba-tiba kapalnya meledak dan beliau meninggal. Lalu masyarakat Maluku Utara mendorong dan mendukung istrinya, Ibu Shirley Choanda, untuk melanjutkan kampanye beliau. Dan yang kita tahu hari ini, Ibu Shirley Choanda sudah terpilih menjadi Gubernur Maluku Utara. Tante, I'm so proud of you. I'm triple proud of you because you are a woman, let alone you're a Chinese woman, and you're the first woman to be the Governor of Maluku Utara. Dari kejadian Pak Benny Laos ini, tereksposlah anak-anaknya ke mata publik. They are undeniably good-looking, well-spoken, bright, and mature more than their age. Let's welcome the Princess of Benny Laos and Shirley Choanda, Benesia Adeline Laos. Thank you for being here, Lynn.
Thank you. My mom used to send me guru grooming TikTok videos before I go to school every day, so I'm very honored and happy to be here.
Oh, so cute. It's funny how the world works, yeah?
Yeah.
Small world, and kita sit here today to talk more about what happened to you and your family. Sebenarnya, Lynn, I don't really want to talk about kronologinya atau how it happened because I think it's already a lot in the internet ya. You guys can search it up. Banyak podcast yang sudah Lynn dan Mama lakukan juga. But here, I believe that you can be blessings to others, just like your father was to so many Indonesians and especially people of Maluku Utara. Unfortunately, there are a lot of families and kids who also lost their fathers. And I want to know how you handled your grief and how your family overcome it and the effects that it took on your family, both positive and negative. Because we've had previous conversation and I thought that what you said was very inspiring. And I think like more people should hear what Lynn has to say and share about her story. So Lynn, have you always known that your father was a politician since you were a kid? When did you know?
Fun fact, no. I was very young during that time. I was maybe in 4th or 5th grade. So during that time, I just remembered I had to take like a 3-4 day leave from school for the inauguration of my dad as the Bupati of Moratai. That was around 2017. I was actually participating in the campaigns back in 2016. Kan we started in 2016, dia dilantik 2017. So I was already visiting the wargas. I was already bolak-balik Moratai, but I didn't know anything.
You didn't know what Bupati was?
I did not know. I did not know what politics was. I was still playing like my Nintendo DS during that time.
Terus tadi kamu sempat cerita that you thought when you were looking at your dad's percentage polling in the...
I thought he was like, yeah, as a kid, also aku ada jiwa kayak, I like to win. So I like it when like my dad wins, you know? So I'm like, go papi, you're gonna win this, you're gonna win this. I didn't know what it was about. And then I started getting like, congratulations.
You thought that was like a
game show or something, I don't know.
Oh my god, Lin pikir itu kayak game show guys, papinya mencalonkan diri menjadi bupati. You're so funny. A lot of us see from social media, Lin, that your family is very close and affectionate. Can you tell us what was your childhood like?
So growing up, my parents, even before they entered politics, they were not home as often as your typical families. And during those times, I used to feel like, why? I nanya straight up, kenapa my friends get to meet their parents every day and then you're rarely home, and I never really got why. And it got worse when he was the bupati in Moratai. I asked him one day, I was like, kenapa papi lebih sering di sana dibanding kesini? Kayak, why can't you spend more time with me like all my other friends do with their dads? I barely see you. One phrase he actually used to say to all three of us growing up was, my dad came from financial background yang kurang berada. He went through all those hardships and reached a point yang God has blessed him with so much. Cuman, he always told us, itu bukan just because God wanted it. There was always a purpose. That's why he used to say, papi ini diberkati sama Tuhan untuk bisa memberkati orang lain. And growing up, although I used to hear those phrases over and over and over again, I never really got why. Honestly, until bener-bener last year when he passed away, there were a lot of minor little details, a lot of things he said yang dulu tuh didn't make sense. Dulu tuh kalau ditanya what's bentrokan paling gede with me and my dad, we had lack of communication. Mungkin karena even with my mom, they have a very huge age gap, so sometimes pola pikir kita and his mindset itu berbeda. And we only got to see that when he passed away. Cuman now, me and my siblings, we truly understand the meaning of kita diberkati untuk memberkati. When my dad passed away, we saw it, we asked a lot of questions. I was really mad. I was mad. I was filled with anger, sadness, and all sorts of emotions. And to me, it was like, pas papi ngejabat sebagai bupati, tambah nggak di rumah lagi. And then, to me, it was like, at this point, emang you lebih sayang sama mereka dibanding I. Karena aku juga belum truly ngerti kan. So, to the people of Maluku, we're willing to sacrifice physical time with both parents for them to be with you. So, kita mohon dijaga dan kita titipin, please take care of them like how they take care of you. Cuma now, and growing up juga, me and my siblings grew up very, very close karena both mami sama papi dari keluarga yang lumayan gede, jadi kita dipaksa untuk akrab. And we're very tight. We love each other very much. So
that's good because ketika nggak ada orang tua di rumah, you guys only have each other.
It's true.
Yeah. Wow, teman-teman Maluku Utara, kalian sudah dengar sendiri dari anak Pak Beni Laos, banyak sekali sacrifice yang sudah keluarganya lalui, bukan hanya sacrifice Pak Beni Laos, tapi juga sacrifice istri anaknya semua. Mungkin kalau didengar rasanya gitu doang, tapi ketika gimana kalau kita menjalani dan mengalaminya sendiri. Jadi saya juga menitipkan kepada masyarakat Maluku Utara untuk menjaga dan melestarikan visi misi Pak Beni Laos dan Ibu Sherry Joanda. Thank you. Lin, kamu anak politisi dan anak orang kaya. Banyak orang pikir you're just a spoiled kid and you're probably a little bit out of touch. What is your take on that?
For starters, yes, my dad does spoil me. I am the only daughter. Cuman don't get me wrong, I'm very, very grateful for that. I'm grateful for the privilege that I have been given. And aku juga tahu banyak orang di posisi kayak aku yang given that same privilege. Cuman the problem with a lot of people now itu cara mereka utilize that privilege. It took a while for me to really know how to utilize those privileges correctly. Cuman, I think basis dari itu tuh gratitude. Karena menurut aku dari kalian mau segi materi, you mau punya paling banyak, kalau rasa dari that personal gratefulness that comes from within belum ada, you're never gonna be happy. You selalu bakal merasa it's never gonna be enough. Jadi basisnya dari situ, then you slowly work into how do I use the platform, the privileges I've been given into a way where I can bless people.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Hearing you say that is so heartwarming. Lynn, I believe that your life before and after your father died pasti beda kan? It's undeniably pasti beda. And I remember you saying kalau Papa Lynn gak meninggal, Lynn dan keluarga Lynn mungkin tidak bisa menjadi visi dan misi keluarga yang Papa Benny mau di mata Papa Benny. If that makes sense. Can you share to the penonton, elaborate that? What do you mean? Kenapa Lynn ngerasa kalau Papa Benny tidak meninggal, kita tidak bisa mengachieve dream ini yang Papa Benny selalu mau buat kita?
It led to me being a bit rebellious in order to get their attention. Cuman belakangan ini 2024 kan udah nggak ngejabat, jadi mereka lebih sering di Jakarta, and our family, we were getting closer and whatnot. Cuman jadi kata kasarnya tuh aku mulai berubah lah. If you watch kayak my video, Sweet 17 videos, papi ada bilang kata-kata tahun ini Adeline berubah. And I did berubah, cuman during that time ya namanya semua orang, we all had dreams, kita punya mimpi. Even that, menurut aku, ya namanya manusia, even I had dreams. And I did change. Cuman...
Change in what way? You gak jadi rebellious lagi?
Aku gak jadi rebellious. Aku ya jadi lebih baik lah ya. I was better.
Ini pas Papa masih hidup?
Ini pas Papi masih hidup. I was better. Cuman even that level of better, 6 months ago saw me now, kayak she'd be like, who is that? Gitu kan. In a way, that me was trying to reach this me. Cuman this me would never happen if it wasn't for the price I had to pay. Walaupun harga yang harus bayar sangat mahal. In a way, mungkin kalau papi nggak meninggal, aku nggak expect lah, especially at this age. I'm young, I don't know anything. I like to think I know everything, but I really don't. Kayak itu pas papi meninggal itu benar-benar the realization ya kayak, oh my god, I nggak tahu apa-apa. I cannot do anything kan. Hidup aku masih panjang. At that time tuh kayak tiba-tiba my brain started working. Kayak tiba-tiba yang dulu aku mikirnya gini, sekarang aku mikirnya gini. Yang kata-kata yang papi selalu bilang diberkati untuk memberkati itu tiba-tiba aku langsung I know what it means gitu loh. And karena kejadian pas papi meninggal, walaupun kejadian kehilangan ayah bukan hal kecil, you know. Lebih ke sini aku lebih belajar untuk lihat the positive in things. Kayak at that point mungkin it felt like my life was falling apart. Kayak aku bener-bener udah kayak, what do I do? I don't know what to do. Kayak kenapa harus begini gitu loh. In a way, I have a mother, I have brothers, I have a good community who loves me, who's willing to support me. Dan puji Tuhan, secara finansial, secara eksternal juga nothing really change. Makanya dari segi itu tuh, from that moment on, aku mulai punya tujuan. Walaupun tujuan itu belum terlalu 100% jelas, aku cuma tahu bahwa di saat ini sekarang, aku kehilangan ayah, benar. Aku tetap masih diberkatiin Tuhan, itu juga benar. So from this moment on, tujuan hidup aku, when I'm feeling down, itu kalau it's that I'm trying my best every single day to always find ways to use my resources and all the blessings God has given me to bless others. And at the very least, the time my dad was here wasn't for nothing. And aku benar-benar put his life lessons, put his words into make it a reality. Itu sih.
That was so good. So good. Okay, now that you've gained so much fame, do you feel like making friends a little bit more tricky because then people might take advantage of you? Apakah kamu menjadi lebih berhati-hati untuk mencari teman?
Yes and no. Menurut aku sih kayak circle aku pada dasarnya pretty tight. Aku dulu orangnya sangat extroverted. I love hanging out with, aku suka rame, aku suka banyak orang. Cuman belakangan ini as I got older, I'm not that old sih, I'm only 17, cuman I matured pretty fast. Jadi as I got older, my circle jadi lebih kecil. Aku jadi suka my alone time. I like 3 to 5 friends. And menurut aku, I feel like everyone's gone through the phase yang having to deal with people who aren't genuine, people yang temenan sama you karena ada maunya, whatever the reason is. Untungnya dari kecil tuh I'm pretty alert with kayak aku mau temenan sama siapa, this person okay atau enggak. Tapi ya of course pasti ada, dari dulu until now there are people yang gitu. Cuman yang aku alert aja sih.
Iya, karena kamu bisa baca orang lah. Walaupun baru umur 17 tapi sudah ada aset itu yang kamu bisa pakai. So that's good. Lynn, you are a role model for so many people now. Not only people your age, but maybe for older ones as well. Because unfortunately, people who has lost their fathers are not only from your age. It's broad age range, ya. Pasti orang juga ada ngomong, anak gubernur kok kayak gini, kayak gitu. Sebagai role model banyak juga hatersnya ya kan. So, ada beberapa hal yang kamu bisa lakuin dulu, tapi sekarang nggak bisa. What's the difference? Can you tell us?
Okay, first of all, I love how you said role model. Karena aku ada temen sempat bilang, and you said it as well, that kayak mungkin whatever happens itu bisa jadi berkat, and paling nggak gitu aku bisa ngambil sebagai a story that I can tell to in a way help other people, to show them, to tell them that emang bukan cuma you yang in this position, I juga. And I feel like a message I wanna portray is that kayak, if I can do it, so can you gitu. If I can do it, apalagi you know. Second, mungkin karena dari dulu my dad was in politics, aku juga udah tahu a certain way to act. Emang there are expectations, cuman during our 2 hours here, I have learned so much from you sama Auntie, that emang pasti ada lah expectations yang harus diikutin. Cuman at the end of the day, I'm only human. I'm only 17. It's important to still be myself in a more polished and filtered way. Aku anaknya ekspresif sih, jadi I'm not very jaim. But sometimes there are pressures yang lebih come from within, yang I have to seem perfect. Cuman, again, at the end of the day, I'm only human. Everyone punya kelemahan dan kelebihan masing-masing. So, every day I try to find a balance in that.
That's so good. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I don't know. Can we count how many times I've said I'm proud of you today? Yeah, I mean, we've had this conversation too, how you remind me so much of me when I was your age. And then that you also feel like you...
Guys, jadi fun fact, when I met Chigabi for the first time, kayak it was like, dari diri sendiri sih, it was like, oh, kayak mirip ya. But then kayak gak mungkin aku ngomong kan. And then Chigabi said that, and I was like, I thought about the exact same thing. And then Bella also were like, you guys were alike, cuman we never really sampai ketemu.
Iya, funny story guys. Jadi, ya pas lagi dinner, dia lagi cerita-cerita, terus aku bilang ke adik aku, Bella, gila, ini kenapa I see myself so much in her. Dulu pas gue masih umur 17, gue ada begini mirip. Terus Lynn was like, I thought the same exact thing, cuman kayak aku gak enak ngomongnya gitu ya kan. And then Bella said, yeah Ci, long time ago kan I already told you, I showed you Lynn's profile. I was like, Ci, we've met this girl before, tapi aku lupa guys. Terus Bella tuh emang udah bilang, Ci, I see so much you in her and her in you. Saya bilang, masa sih kita pernah ketemu di mana? Lupa segala macam. Ternyata pas have dinner with you, wow.
Yeah. But like, it's okay. If you can do it, so can I lah ya.
Oke, dan jadi kamu ngerasa sebenarnya nggak gitu ada beda before and after kamu menjadi panutan ini buat banyak orang, karena dari sebelum papa kamu jadi politisi pun sudah diajarin di keluarga bagaimana how to carry yourself well di public segala macamnya. Cuman mungkin sekarang karena in a bigger scale, aku juga paham kadang netizen itu bisa bikin pusing kepala merah ya. Tapi I guess it's learning by doing lah. Lynn, sekarang kan mami bolak-balik Maluku ya. And you guys are all in school. You are going to Melbourne soon. And your older brother is going back to Seattle soon. But right now, are you guys helping your mom at all with work? What are your roles?
So of course we all have our roles masing-masing. Karena kejadiannya bukan secara paksa, cuman dari our own kesadaran bahwa we have to mature a bit quicker than others. Tapi basisnya itu our roles are to support each other. Karena at the end of the day, emang as a family, that's what keeps us going. As for me personally, secara external, I have school, aku lagi in a foundation preparing untuk go to Melbourne. I have intern juga di a marketing firm called Ageless Galaxy. I have the whole KOL thing. I'm tapping into that. Actually, lumayan enjoy content creating. It's a way I get to express myself. And on top of all that, aku juga mulai program baru di bawah Bella Peduli, yayasan dari kedua orang tua aku, which is actually a CSR, a company social responsibilities. Every company has that. Kalau nggak tahu di Google. Dan kita menggunakan dana dari CSR itu untuk membuat program namanya Ayo Berkarya. I'm very excited about this program. Baru launching mungkin 2-3 minggu yang lalu. We actually just had our first pilot project kemarin. And di dalam program itu, like what you said, mungkin everything that has happened happens for a reason. Itu bisa menjadi sebuah cerita yang aku bisa menggunakan untuk cerita to other people. Semoga itu menjadi inspiration and motivation to a lot of other people and to show, untuk build a community with people my age. Target audience kita anak-anak SMA, karena menurut aku anak-anak kelas 11, 12 itu they need support. I felt like I needed that support when I was their age, and walaupun aku masih seumuran sama mereka, I feel like dengan cerita aku, I hope to inspire and give them motivation and support, build a community. Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
What about your brother, Lynn? Is he helping your mom?
As for my brother, sekarang lagi persiapan untuk uni application so he can go back to the US this fall quarter. Kadang aku sama Koko tuker-tukeran schedule, cuman karena I have a lot going on right now, biasa Koko yang kesana temenin Mami kalau Mami lagi bertugas di Maluku. Terus Edric is kemarin baru lulus kelas 10. He just took his IGCSEs and he's entering grade 11 this year. So he's focusing on school and his extracurriculars.
Jadi Edric lagi mau apply uni?
Enggak, dia pindah sekolah.
Oh, pindah sekolah. Mau selesaiin kelas 12?
Mau selesaiin. Edric sekarang baru lulus kelas 10, jadi mau masuk kelas 11.
Oh, okay. Because I left kelas 10, nggak lanjutin sampai kelas 12, langsung college. So I was wondering if Edric...
He wants that high school experience.
Yeah, memang baiknya begitu. How do you maintain the closeness with your family? How do you spend time with each other? Gimana tuh aturnya? Because you guys all have busy schedules kan?
Of course, now we all have roles of our own, both in supporting and externally. Kayak di kehidupan kita masing-masing, we all have our own activities. Apalagi sekarang Mami sudah dilantik, jadi Mami sudah mulai bertugas di Maluku Utara. Jadi emang she has to allocate most of her time over there. Cuman kita juga ngerti. And on the time she's back, walaupun it's 1-2 hari, Sundays are reserved for family time, and as much as possible kalau dia di sini, paling nggak mau dia pulang malam, we always try to make time kalau malam kita kumpul, kita doa bareng, atau enggak we visit papi on the times we are free.
Oh.
And kalau Mami di sana, we as best as we can, we try to make time to text when we update each other in the family group. So yeah.
That's so cute. Lynn, now your identity is very close to your family's identity. Yeah, your family is serving the country. Are you looking to do the same in the future, or do you have a plan of your own?
Menurut aku, it's when I'm given a chance in the future untuk help people through a bigger scale, if it's mungkin by entering politics, I would love to. Cuman as for now, aku focusing on my life and me and my family and everything that's happening right now. Cuman to me, it's kalau Tuhan buka pintu and itu rencana Tuhan, then He will open the doors. So I think it's all up to Him. It's all up in His hands. Jadi whatever happens will happen.
Oh, we've come to the end of our session. Any message, Lynn, for the people of Maluku, for the people of Indonesia, and for anak-anak pejabat maybe?
Untuk anak pejabat, gimana ya? Like as we talked about earlier, there are expectations to uphold, and it's mungkin dari how each of your parents brought you up. There's always there's a certain way to act. There's that pressure, and to me, it's like find a balance. Kayak at the end of the day, I know a lot of you are my age. We're all still young. Emang masih harus live our life. Masih harus be ourselves. But I think find a balance in that. be yourself in a more polished, in a more filtered way for the sake of you and your parents. For the people of Indonesia. Dulu tuh aku sering hidup dengan the catchphrase YOLO, and now I get a new understanding and point of view of it. Kayak, you only live once, jadi you really have to think about during that one life you have, what impact kalian mau kasih untuk orang lain, what impact can you give to other people, pastinya mau bagus kan. So I feel like that's the biggest thing I'd like to emphasize on. Diberkati untuk memberkati orang lain. And just because you feel like your life is falling apart, it's really not. Trust the process. Whatever God has planned for each and every one of us, nggak usah dipertanyakan, karena apapun yang Dia sudah merencanakan, itulah untuk yang terbaik. Dan kepada orang-orang di Maluku Utara, aku, Koko, dan Edric titipin Mami ya. Karena kita sekarang sudah kehilangan papi, dan Mami, she's the only one we have. And we love her very much. She loves you very much. We're doing our duties as a family untuk melanjutkan perjuangan papi. Karena papi sangat-sangat sayang sama kalian. Jadi kita juga sangat menyayangi kalian. Kita akan menjagai kalian. Jadi kita harap kalian menjaga Mami dengan baik. Tolong menjauhkan Mami dari semua persoalan korupsi dan apapun lah itu. Jauhkan Mami dari semua kejahatan dan love her like she loves you.
Lynn, is there anything else you want to add for everyone in general?
It's okay to not have everything figured out in life. I'm also having my own struggles. I'm sure all of you are having your own struggles. Kadang finding a purpose in life can be a bit blurry. I think it's important to, yang penting mulai aja dulu. And then one day you'll get there. And as long as your heart's in the correct place with the correct action plan, kalian pasti bisa. And for anyone dealing through a hard time, mau it's losing a loved one, mau it's having your own set of personal problems, anything it is. Words are powerful. Jangan bilang kalian lemah, jangan bilang kalian gak bisa, karena it's not true. I think everyone has that will, that strength in them. Karena speaking from personal experience, kalau aku bisa, kalian pasti bisa. That's it from me.
That's so good. Thank you. Thank you, Lynn, for being here. I believe you are already a blessing for so many people, and you will do even more. Just remember to stay humble and grounded. And thank you so much, Lynn, for being here.
Thank you for having me. I had so much fun. I learned so much.
Kecerdasan yang kita bisa belajar dari hari ini. Pertama, diberkati untuk memberkati. Jangan lupa untuk kita semua yang sudah diberkati untuk give back. Karena ketika Tuhan sudah menitipkan ke kita, tidak susah juga untuk dirampas balik semuanya atau dihilangkan, diambil dari tangan kita. Kecerdasan yang kedua adalah family is the biggest support we can ever get. So, do not take that for granted. Kecerdasan yang ketiga, kalau bisa produktif dari dini, dari usia muda, kenapa tidak? Ayo anak-anak Indonesia yang muda, kita berkarya dan membuat Indonesia lebih baik. Indonesia, ayo grooming. Thank you again. Bye, everyone!